Nested in the heart of southern India, Telangana is a state that embodies captivating blend of ancient tradition and modern dynamism. Ranges from the fertile plains of Godavari and Krishna River to the rocky landscape of Deccan Plateau. Established as India's 29th state on 2nd June 2014, Telangana has rapidly risen to prominence both culturally and economically. Telangana's history is deeply rooted in the dynamic rules, including Qutub Shahi, Mughals, and Nizams, which have left indelible marks on its identity. The state is renowned for its historical and architectural heritage, including iconic landmarks like Charminar and Golconda Fort. Telugu is the primary language, and the state's cultural heritage is exemplified by the classical dance forms like Kuchipudi and different vibrant folk arts. Hyderabadi biryani, with its fragrant spices, is a delight that truly tantalizes the taste buds, making every bite a flavorful adventure.
Telangana is by far one of the fastest growing states in India. While India's overall GDP grew at a rate of 9%, Telangana has consistently outpaced the nation with an impressive annual growth of 12.4% since inception. Telangana represents 2.6% of total population but contributes 4.9% to India's GDP. According to Telangana Socio-Economic Outlook 2023, in terms of per capita GDP, Telangana ranks third at 3.17 lakhs, that is almost double the national average. That too with a Gini coefficient of just 0.10. That means not only the income is higher, but also the income disparity is lowest among all states. It is second largest IT exporter and number one in life science, accounting for 40% of total pharma manufacturing and low-cost vaccine suppliers to the world, giving a strong reason for naming the city of pearls as the vaccine capital of the world. Apart from that, world's largest lift irrigation project is located in Telangana, which has completed in just 4 years. In today's project challenge organized by Code Basics in collaboration with Government of Telangana, let's deep dive on an exploration to uncover fascinating insights about the remarkable state of Telangana. To initiate the project, Open Data Telangana has provided 3 real-time datasets comprising details on stamp registration, transport, TSI pass, along with district information and district map. And from my side, I supplemented the data with additional information such as population, urban percentage, literacy, sex ratio, and GDP. The reason why I added all this is very simple. For example, by stating a state's GDP as 1 billion doesn't provide any meaningful context. We need to consider the population in order to draw any conclusion. So to analyze the true significance of an insight, these standard parameters are needed to be integrated. The project's objective is to explore each and every dataset, understand their attributes, categories, and time periods, analyze trends, patterns within each department, identify growth opportunities and area needing attention, find correlation among these departments, and report the overall growth of the state through insights and relevant visuals. Let's start with stamp registration. So our first query is, how does the revenue generated from document registration vary across districts in Telangana? List down the top 5 districts that shows the highest document registration revenue growth between fiscal year 2019 and 2022. So from the map, we can see that revenue is not even across districts. The districts surrounding Hyderabad generate higher revenue. The top 5 districts in terms of revenue are Rangareddy, Mitchell, Hyderabad, Sangareddy, and Hanumakonda. If we consider revenue per person, here Sangareddy overtakes Hyderabad and Yadadri comes at 5th position. Rangareddy remains at top. We can also hover over Rangareddy in map and it ranks 1 in terms of GDP and GDP per capita. Not only in Telangana, it is one of the richest districts in India. This Power BI dashboard is completely dynamic. You can hover over anywhere in the map and dynamically check any details. Now let's check what it has been asked in the question, that is the revenue growth. Here Mughal district top at 28.3% year-on-year growth, followed by Adilabad, Karimnagar, Mancherial and Mitchell. We can also change the year and check the growth between any time period as our wish. Now move to the next query. How does the revenue generated from document registration compare to the revenue generated from e-stamp challan across districts? List down the top 5 districts where e-stamp challan contributes significantly more to the revenue than the documents in fiscal year 2022. E-stamp challan is implemented in December 2020 and since then there is a difference of 2.54 billion rupees between document registration and e-stamp challan. The top 5 districts where e-stamp challan contributed significantly more are Rangareddy, Hyderabad, Khammam, Hanumakonda and Yadadri. And in terms of percentage of revenue difference, in Jalgaon, e-stamp is 2.5% higher than document revenue, followed by Nirmal Mancherial, Rangareddy and Kamareddy. The third query is there any alteration in e-stamp challan count and document registration count pattern since the implementation of e-stamp challan? If so, what suggestion would you propose to the government? As discussed in the previous query, the same can be observed in the line chart. Ever since the e-stamp was introduced, it has outperformed document registration in every single year. And before giving any suggestion, here one thing I want to mention that e-stamps are not a replacement of document registration, but are two distinct sources of revenue for the government. E-stamps are nothing but the digital form of stamp paper used to pay stamp duty on legal documents. An increased number of e-stamps are positive sign as these are fast, cost-effective, environment-friendly and more transparent, secure and reduce the risk of forgery. So it is advisable to promote e-stamp through spreading awareness and educating people to use digital stamps, especially in the rural areas. Next query is categorize district into three segments based on their stamp registration revenue generation during the fiscal year 2021 to 2022. The first segment consists of districts with revenue greater than 2 billion rupees, and there are 5 districts as follows. Second segment consists of districts between 500 million rupees to 2 billion rupees, and there are total 9 districts. The rest 19 districts where revenue is less than 500 million rupees comes into third category. And with this we are done with the stamp registration. Now let's move to transportation. And here the first query is investigate whether there is any correlation between vehicle sales and specific month or season in different districts. Are there any months or season that consistently shows higher or lower sales rate? If yes, what could be the driving factors? So if we'll check this matrix table, we observe a correlation that October month of every year shows a consistent higher sales than the average, and in April and May it consistently lower. Not just in Telangana, this trend is so common across India that an article heading Passenger Vehicle Sales sees a robust growth in October was published by Mint, and the reason is pretty obvious, that is the festival season. For low sales in April and May, the possible factor could be COVID-19, as here the 2020 and 2021 are most affected where all this lockdown stuff happened. And if we'll check by category, for petrol and diesel, this correlation remains the same, but for electric, there are more sales in fourth quarter of fiscal year than any other quarter. Next is, how does the distribution of vehicles vary by vehicle class across different districts? Are there any districts with a predominant preference for a specific vehicle class? Consider FY 2022 for analysis. There isn't any district which is predominantly buying only motorcycle or car. In fact, we can observe a correlation between these categories. But there are some districts where auto rickshaw are predominantly preferred. One of such is Sangareddy and other is Warangal. And there are 7 districts where agricultural vehicles are predominant: Jayasankar, Medak, Nagar Kurnool, Nalgonda, Siddipet, Suryapet and Yadadri. If we check the number of vehicles per 1000 population, this ratio also remains the same. And I have found a useful insight that justify why agricultural vehicles are predominant in these districts. It is the urban population. Districts with low urban population prefer agricultural vehicles more. Let's move on to the next query. List down the top 3 and bottom 3 districts that have shown highest and lowest vehicle sales growth during the FY 2022 compared to FY 2021. Consider and compare petrol, diesel and electric. And if you will check, combining all 3 categories, top 3 districts are Rangareddy, Karimnagar, Hyderabad, and for bottom 3 it is Warangal, Jagtial and Nirmal. On total, there is an 8.8% decrease in 2022 from 2021. We can also check category wise. For diesel, top 3 are Rangareddy, Hyderabad and Mitchell, and bottom 3 remains the same. For petrol, top 3 are Karimnagar, Sangareddy and Rangareddy, and bottom 3 are Jangaon, Mahbubabad and Warangal. In electric, there is a growth of 101% in FY 2022, leading by Khammam, Bhadradri and Suryapet. The credit for this massive growth in EVs goes to Telangana government electric vehicle policy, which provides subsidies and incentives to both the manufacturer and the consumers. Now let's move on to the PSI Pass, which stands for Telangana State Industrial Project Approval and Self-Certification System. It is an initiative by Telangana government which provides clearance to set up new businesses within 30 days. Here the first query is, list down the top 5 sectors that have witnessed the most significant investment in FY 2022. Top 5 sectors are plastic and rubber, pharmaceuticals and chemicals, real estates, solar and renewable, and engineering. Telangana is one of the leading manufacturers of mold and tooling for FMCG products, and have a strong presence of plastic industry with about 6,000 units operating in the state. For pharmaceuticals, government have developed medical device parks in Sangareddy and the Pharma City in Hyderabad, and many more investment and tax-friendly plans are adopted by Telangana, for which it has become the hotspot for investors in different sectors. Next is list down the top 3 districts that have attracted the most significant sector investments during FY 2019 to 2022. What factor would have led to the substantial investment in these particular districts? The top 3 districts are Rangareddy, Sangareddy and Mitchell. All new development projects are being built in the peripheral of Hyderabad, and these 3 districts are Hyderabad's neighbor, so all the investment which are coming are either into these 3 districts, especially to Rangareddy, as the Hyderabad's high-tech city including projects like T-Hub and also Ramoji Film City comes under the jurisdiction of Rangareddy. Let's move on to the next. Is there any relationship between district investment, vehicle sales and stamp revenue within the same districts between FY 2021 and 2022? Yes, there are certain correlation between these 3 parameters. Correlation between vehicle sales and stamp revenue is the strongest. And one point to note is that here I have used rank correlation. It's because the data contains outliers, and if in a dataset there are multiple outliers, it is ideal to use rank correlation instead of Pearson correlation. So overall, we can say that district with higher investment has higher vehicle sales and higher stamp revenue. No doubt there are also few exceptions here. In Warangal, it ranks low in revenue but have a comparatively higher vehicle sales. Next query is, are there any particular sectors that have shown substantial investment in multiple districts between FY 2021 and 2022? Here is a list of all the districts with total investments and district counts. Let's set our investment threshold to 2000 crores and number of districts to be 20. So these are the top 5 sectors led by pharmaceuticals and plastic and rubber industries, which get substantial investment across multiple districts. Last query is, can you identify any seasonal pattern or cyclicality in the investment trend for specific sectors? Do certain sectors experience high investment during particular months? To be honest, I didn't find any strong pattern, and here if you only check months and investment, it won't tell the whole story. Suppose if you check for agro, it shows a high investment in June, but it doesn't mean June month of every year it gets a big chunk of investment. It just got it once, that is in 2022. But still, there are few sectors that have shown some seasonal pattern. In food processing, we can see a trend where investments are going higher as it approaches the third quarter, that is from October to December. Then it starts to decrease and increase again. In textile, we can see high investment in September in first 2 years, and in wood and leather, we can see a high investment in September in last 2 years. So with this, we are done with all the primary insights. So now move on to the most interesting part, that are the secondary research and recommendations for the government of Telangana. First query is, what are the top 5 districts to buy commercial properties in Telangana? Justify your answer. A global real estate service company, JLL, in its City Momentum 2020 index ranked Hyderabad as the most dynamic city among 130 cities across the globe. Hyderabad also ranked number 1 in terms of office demand. Per square feet cost is also steadily increasing quarter by quarter and expected a return of 10.6% year on year. According to the same report, the key areas where real estate values are rising are western suburbans, which means the part of Hyderabad that is spread towards Rangareddy, Sangareddy. Northern suburbans, which comes in Mitchell district. So the top 5 districts that I would recommend to buy properties are Rangareddy, Mitchell, Sangareddy, Warangal and Jayasankar, which have also shown a promising growth in recent years. Next is, what significant policies or initiatives were put into effect to enhance economic growth, investments and employment in Telangana by the current government? Can you quantify the impact of this policy using available data? Telangana has initiated so many aggressive policies to enhance economy that it is out of the scope of this project to list one by one. So I will try to mention the most significant initiatives from each sector. Telangana has constructed the world's largest lift irrigation project, and agricultural support policies like Raitu Bandhu schemes, insurance policies like Raitu Bima, and 24/7 free power supply to agriculture resulted a growth of 14% from 76,000 crores in 2014 to more than 2 lakh crores in 2022. Not only that, Telangana is the first large state in the country to achieve 100% coverage of functional water tap connection in all rural inhabitants. The female labor participation is 50%, which is one of the highest and 15% higher than the national average of 35%. Under the KCR Kids scheme, mothers were provided with financial assistance of rupees 12,000 and 13,000 for girl child to compensate for the loss of wages by the women during the pregnancy and postnatal periods. Infant mortality rate has fallen by 40% from 35 in 2014 to 21 in 2020. The state hosted T-Hub 2.0, the world's largest innovation campus with a capacity to facilitate over 4,000 startups. It also has 19 other state-supported incubators such as IT Hubs, J-Hub, T-Work, We-Hub, especially for women entrepreneurs. More than 6,600 startups are registered in Telangana, out of which 356 are seed-funded and 4 unicorns. Per capita revenue received is more than 27,000, one of the highest among Indian states. The state's tax to GSDP ratio is second highest among Indian states. Unemployment rate has declined from 7.5% to 5.1% among the working age population. The state has installed over 10 lakh CCTV surveillance camera, earning Hyderabad the 16th rank among the most surveilled cities globally. From agriculture to healthcare, from technology to safety, Telangana is right in the top in each and every sector. Now move on to the last and the final query. Provide top 5 insights and 5 recommendations to Telangana government for sustained growth in the next 5 years based on your analysis. Previous year, RBI published a report on state bankruptcy and few financial indicators are alarming for Telangana. First indicator is debt to GSDP ratio, which is nothing but total debt of a state divided by total GDP. Here Telangana may not be in the danger zone, but the best performing states like Gujarat, Maharashtra and Odisha, this percentage is coming down. For Telangana, it is remaining constant at 25%. Second indicator is interest payment to revenue received. Here also, Telangana is performing moderate at 11%, while its neighbor state Odisha is at 4.3%. Third is fiscal deficit, which is nothing but government's total expenditure minus total revenue. Here also, it is performing moderate at 3.9%. So these are the 3 financial indicators that Telangana need to look after. Next, I would like to focus on Hyderabad's metro, which incurred a loss of 1315 crores in FY 2022, and currently metro is covering only few locations, and expanding furthermore would become challenging if they don't get profitable in upcoming years. Lastly, I want to focus on Telangana's over-dependency on its capital city Hyderabad. As the state economy would grow, the demand for more high-class city would arise in the future. So government should start planning for the same. So it was all about this incredible state of Telangana, and I would like to thank Dhaval sir, Hemanand sir and whole team of Code Basics. Last but not the least, my special thanks to Telangana's Minister of IT, KTR sir and Open Data Telangana for giving us such a wonderful opportunity to work in these high quality projects. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.